1FM 91.3, it's Glenn and the Flying Dutchman. And as promised, we have the man in the studio, Adrian Chu, who is career strategist from Career Agility International.
Good morning, Adrian. Thank you so much for joining us. Basically, today we're going to be talking about which career animal are you. But before we get into that, tell us a bit about what you actually do.
Because I've been looking forward to meeting you, Adrian.
Oh, wow. Yes,
I've heard a lot of good things.
Yeah.
From my buddy, Mr. Jason Dacey.
Oh yeah, Jason himself. Well, I'm a career strategist. So what I do is I help people with their careers. It's not just about finding jobs. It's not just about landing good roles. It's about planning your career for longevity and sustainability. So we are the only guys out there doing this in the market, and we've been having a great time. We've been running this business for the past 2.5, 3 years, and we are growing very quickly. So we have a particular focus on Singaporean PMETs especially, because these are the guys we find a little bit endangered in a way.
How do you mean endangered?
Well, that's what we're going to talk about today, about the animals, you see.
Right.
And it's going to be an interesting conversation because I think Singaporeans have been a bit mollycoddled. And that's why we have to raise our agility level and take the game to a global level, in fact.
Right. Because you don't want to be caught out, right? I mean, you lose your job, let's say, and you don't know what else to do, and you can't do anything else. I mean, that is the worst case scenario for anyone.
Exactly. That's why we always ask a question to our clients now. It's like, what's worse than being unemployed? And the answer is being unemployable.
Yes.
And it's scary because it's happening out there in the market now. We see people who are looking for jobs for a very long time, but they don't have the appropriate skill sets. There's age discrimination as well.
Yeah.
And sometimes there is nationality discrimination against us Singaporeans too. And I hate to say it because it's not very politically correct, but it's happening out there in the market.
Right.
So how then do you equip yourself to play in a field that sometimes might be an uneven playing field?
And that's what you do. You help people equip themselves.
Yeah, that's right. So it's a lot of mindset shifts. It's a lot of particular skills you need to pick up along the way and make yourself more agile career-wise.
So how has the job market actually changed?
Well, it used to be a very, very stable market in the old days. And we used to see people sticking in jobs. Like my dad, he was in his job in Standard Chartered for like 20, 25 years. And in those days, when you were in a company that long, it was a good thing because, this was a stable guy,
Yeah.
But today we're going to see very short jobs, very short stints. In fact, we tell people that you're not really in a job, you're in a gig. So in the 2 or 3 years, you have to start thinking about where to move. Because as much as you want to be in a company for the next 5, 10, 15 years, chances are the company may not want you to be around in the next 5 years.
So there's an interesting point because I'm a business owner and I always look for people who will stay with me for the long run. But you're saying you're not. It's a gig mentality. So are we going to see Singapore move to very much like Melbourne is, for example, where people are hired on 3 months, 6 months, 9-month contracts?
We are already seeing that, but not so much as 3 months, 6 months. Those are more project-based freelance gigs. But right now, even the big multinational companies, when they're hiring people, they are putting people on contracts, 1-year contracts, 2-year contracts, and to be renewed. It's no longer you're going to have a lifetime career with me. It's a 1-year contract. But politically speaking, they do that now because they want to cap their upside. So when they have to retrench people, they say, oh, sorry, you're on a 1-year contract. So you can be working for the company for 15 years, but you're only liable for the previous 1 year which you've been with because your contract was renewed. So we are seeing a lot of people working on a contract basis now, renewable. So that's one of the trends we're seeing.
Does it help companies? Because I think if you're hiring people on 1-year, 2-year contracts, are you continuously getting people in your business that come with new ideas all the time? Because they're different people.
Yeah, I mean, organizations still want to have people stay around for a long time, but it's just that there's when a new boss comes in, for instance, and then they start going, hey, let's not do this particular business anymore, let's try something else. And then suddenly your division's not wanted around anymore, then you get wiped out. So they're trying to limit the upside, but the thrust of it is that we are saying you have to manage your career on your own, no longer relying on your company to look after your career. And unfortunately, a lot of Singaporeans now they are off the mentality where you have to, where they're still looking at the company. So I'll give you an example, something really that's been in the public conversation lately. It's about this argument. It's who's responsible for unemployability. some people have written to the press and said, no, the government should be responsible for the unemployability of Singaporeans. But the answer is no, it shouldn't be. You should be your own. You know, it's like me saying, hey, my kids are badly behaved, or it's the government's fault. No, sorry, it's the parents' fault. It's your own.
Unemployability is your problem, nobody else's but your own.
Yes, correct. But and yet we are seeing people writing to the press and saying, hey, no, I've lost my job, it's the government's fault. So we are trying to shift the narrative, we're trying to shift the thinking into, hey, it's your career. How are you going to manage it? It's up to you. And one of the main things we want to focus on is on employability. How do you remain in demand until the day you want to stop working? And like for yourself, you're never going to stop working, are you?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, hold that thought, because we're going to come back and talk about FD, because he's at that age where you were talking about discrimination when people are getting, older. I think, I've got a few questions about how vulnerable FD might be at this stage, at the age of 70.
63.
63, sorry about that. Keep it right here on 1FM 91.3.
Glenn and the Flying Dutchman. Good times, greatest hits. 1FM 91.3.
1FM 91.3, it's Glenn and the Flying Dutchman. We've got Adrian Chu, career strategist from Korea Agility International. He's here to help everyone when it comes to career, planning a strategy for you. And we were talking about FD before we took a short break early on. Now, you mentioned early on, Adrian, that sometimes there's discrimination in companies. Yes. If you're getting old, you might not necessarily be in a good position, right? What do you think about FD? Because FD is 63 years old.
63 years young.
Thank you.
63 years young.
Thank you.
Right? Do you think his position he's in a vulnerable position right now?
Well, I wouldn't say so, because for FD, he's got a brand. A fantastic brand is built up over the past 25, 30 years. So whenever you talk about DJs or radio hosts or MCs, when his name is going to be lobbied up somehow or other. So
it's different from a regular job.
Yeah, it's different because his personal branding is strong and his professional branding is strong. But if it's not, if you are tied to a company and no one knows who you are or what you do, then that gets a bit difficult. Then the only indicator of someone's, when an interviewer is talking to you and the only thing you can bring up is, I was with company X for 15 years or 20 years. What have you been doing? I've been doing this thing. And you have no claim to fame or no clear skills which are needed in the market. Then all the interviewers are going to fall back on is, but this guy's old. And the scary thing, the thing is now, we are even getting interviewers who are saying, you mean he's 50? 50 is old. And it's like, oh my goodness.
I'm 50 this year.
Yeah, it's not. It's the old.
But you see, my argument to that is a 50-year-old probably brings, 25 years of experience.
Exactly, yeah. But HR, sometimes, some HR, they do discriminate, but some hiring managers as well, especially the younger ones. And there's this very funny meme on the internet which goes that, what companies want is they want someone with 25 years of experience, but the salary of a fresh graduate, right?
Yeah.
So that's the reality. But I tend to not want to look at the age. I tend to look at when I spent 12 years as a C-suite headhunter. I play CEOs and MDs in the region for my clients before I came into this career coaching business that I'm running. And one of the things when I speak to candidates before I present them to my clients is I want to find out what skill sets they have and what are their claim to fame, what's their branding, what's their positioning. So I don't look at the age, and yet I still have, for instance, clients telling me that I was placing a CEO in for Asia Pacific, and I presented a guy who was 52, and the chairman of the board told me he's a bit too old.
Wow.
And I was thinking, why? And he says, well, it takes about 3 years for him to be up to scratch, and then this about 55. Then he's only got about 5 more years left or 5 or 6 more years left before he has to retire. And so get me someone with all his experience and everything, but maybe 42.
Asking the impossible.
How do you do that?
Yeah, pluck a unicorn out of a hat, right?
Yeah.
So would that be considered discrimination? Obviously, right?
Obviously, it sounds like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a reality. That's why what we always say is let's not talk about the age issue. When you go for an interview, if you feel that you're a bit senior, it is a mindset shift, because I've seen 60-year-olds who have more energy than 40-year-olds. In fact, I once had a candidate I placed, and he was 56, and the hiring manager said, that guy is how how's his fitness, how's his health and everything. I say, this guy just finished the Ironman. Shall I arrange a tennis match between you and him, because I think he's going to beat you. So it's all about how you present yourself. So a lot of times now, let's move age out of the equation. Talk about your value add. Talk about how you can bring value to the company. And the other thing about age, a lot of times is hiring managers worry about age when you're looking at slightly older workers, is because they think you're too expensive. And sometimes that's true, but then there are ways about negotiating the salaries as well.
Yes, exactly, right? You don't have to cut them straight away.
Yeah. So,
I'm sure they'll be more than willing to negotiate, right?
Yeah, correct. So there are strategies. So we do get a lot of our clients who are in that age group, and they have still so much more to give, but they are not given a shot. So I think one of the things that we need to do is. There are some things you can't change, like for instance, discrimination from the employers or the hiring managers.
Right.
But how you approach it.
Okay.
Yeah. So
for example, I mean, Andre, Sean, myself, we're small fish compared to FD. So, for example, I mean, he's got like 2 years left before he has to retire, right? 65 is a compulsory retirement age or not?
They are pushing it up slowly, so it's 62 and then every year they increase it by 1 year.
Okay, so if he wants to carry on, obviously he can carry on.
Yeah, it's his value, I think.
But let's say if the company feels, okay, FD, we cannot pay you your $200,000 a month salary anymore.
I wish. I wish.
Would you be willing to bring it down a little bit to maybe
100,000.
and change.
Maybe $10,000. Would you stay or would you go?
You see, for me, it's a little different. I have businesses outside, so if my salary came down to a point where I could still live, I do it because of the love of the industry.
Yes.
Correct.
It's love of the industry and I'm very lucky like that. I love what I do.
Because you're not doing it for the money anymore.
I'm
Yes,
I'm not doing it for the
You
money.
would
I'm
do
doing
it for free.
No, that I wouldn't do. That I wouldn't do.
His bosses are listening, so no. The answer is no.
No, I wouldn't do. Morning, boss. But yes, it is a love for the industry, and I honestly, at 63, I do worry about that because I have a contract coming up, and I'm wondering what are they going to do, because I am 63.
Okay.
So it is, and as my bosses listen to me now, it is a major worry for me because I live with this in the back of my head. 63. No matter how good I am, are they going to keep me? Are they going to try and find someone younger, cheaper? Are they going to cut my salary? What are they going to do?
But the fact is, there's always going to be someone younger, cheaper, better looking than you, right? So, especially the better looking piece, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's very easy to find. That's easy to find too.
Yeah. But
they're not the Flying Dutchman.
Oh, but they're not the Flying Dutchman, exactly, right? But and if you curate your brand well and you do well, the ultimate example I would give as a radio personality who's been doing very well is our beloved Brian Richmond.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Look, he's still on Sunday mornings. I still listen to him. Yes, I'm of that age now where I listen to the oldies. But, it's sad, but yeah, he's still at it, and he's still sharp. He's still good.
It's a brand.
So it's not over. It's not about the age. It's about the energy level, the passion, and doing things he loves. And you know what? If you look at him, he's not doing it for the money. He just loves it, and it's amazing because if you look at his career. He was there in the old days when they were using record players. Can you imagine, right? So
that's FD as well, actually.
He and I work side by side.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. So that's amazing.
So you would be Brian's successor, I think.
Well, I hope so.
FD. But of course, you're going to be over here.
Absolutely.
And not over there.
Not going anywhere.
Okay, we're talking to Adrian Chu, career strategist from Korea Agility International. We'll be back with more questions for Adrian in a bit. Keep it right here on 1FM 91.3.
Glenn and the Flying Dutchman. Good times, greatest hits. 1FM 91.3.
1FM 91.3. It's Glenn and the Flying Dutchman with Adrian Chu, career strategist from Korea Agility International. And we're definitely wanting you to come in more often.
Oh, my
Adrian.
pleasure. I'd love to. I'll give an arm and a leg to hang out with you guys, man. So.
And the next time around, we'll ask our 1FM fans to submit maybe a few questions for you, because I'm sure they're dying to ask you questions, Adrian.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
If we look at people today, I mean, everybody, whether they're young or old, they've got they need advice when it comes to work. What do you think are the two most important things when it comes to developing your career?
Well, I think the market has changed a lot, as I said, and unfortunately for many of us, the career advice advice we've been getting has been wrong advice. For instance, when we were in school, what career advice did the teacher give you? Study hard, work hard, get good grades, get a job, stay in the job, retire in the job. And the worst career advice you get from parents is, if you don't study hard, you're going to end up as a road sweeper, right?
Yes.
So that's entirely.
I told them that. My mom always told me that you got to be a road sweeper.
It's a politically incorrect thing to say, but we were all, being Asians, we're all brought up with that. You see, so that's bad advice in a way. I mean, good meaning advice, but bad advice. So what we want to do is, you have to look at your career strategy. What do you want to be 2 jobs down the road? You have to have a plan. You have to take charge of your own career and start thinking outside this company where I'm with. What do I need to do? What are my skill gaps? And right now it's a skills market. The employers are not looking for personalities anymore. They're looking for what can you bring to the table.
Okay.
And you need to sharpen your skills. And we see a lot of Singaporeans who are not doing that right now, unfortunately. For instance, when you do a straw poll and see how many of us Singaporeans have actually used up the Skills Future credit, it's about 15-20% only. And interestingly, what I heard anecdotally is that for the ladies in Singapore, apparently one of the hottest Skills Future courses and programs they take up, guess what? It's Korean, speaking Korean.
Oh, why?
Really?
Yeah, because we suspect it's a Korean drama thing they want to pick up. So, but that isn't really a Skills Future commercial thing. So you have to take your training and your skills upgrading very, very seriously. And the government is, to the government's credit, they're trying very hard. But Singaporeans, I believe that we have to wake up and take charge of our own careers because there's always someone else out for our lunch.
Yeah.
Would being a gigolo be a career? That was what I wanted to be when I graduated, actually. First job, I wanted to do that. I ended up being a karaoke jockey instead.
Which is close.
Thanks, Abdi.
This is a family-friendly program, so...
We've been talking to Adrian Chu, career strategist from Career Agility International. How can people get in touch with you if they do want to get in touch with you?
Well, you can drop me an email. It's adrian@careeragility.org, or you can just drop by the website at careeragility.org, or just connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm always happy to make new connections, and always happy to share advice. So if you have any questions, drop me an email, LinkedIn message. Happy to help anyone.
Brilliant. His name is Adrian Chu, CHOO. We'll definitely be inviting you to join us once again, Adrian.
My pleasure. Looking forward to it.
Thank you so much, Adrian.
Glenn and the Flying Dutchman. Good times, greatest hits. 1FM 91.3.